Yeah, very disappointing result. You know, you look at the recent home games, you know, for me, it's eerily similar. Look at Dallas, you know, we get our noses in front, and then we end up somehow conceding the second half, dropping 2 points there. St. Louis as well, you know, we get our nose in front there, 2-1, and somehow concede there, drop 2 points, and then today, you know, arguably our best first half of the year in terms of playing aggressive, executing what we wanted to on both sides of the ball. Couldn't have been happier, score the first 2 goals. We're a touch off of, you know, offside, you know, scoring the third goal. Halftime, we talked about more of the same. Keep being aggressive, keep pushing for the third goal, keep pressing high, keep attacking. And, you know, the last thing I told them was don't foul, you know, because all they had in the first half really was, you know, 2 or 3 fouls around our defensive third, which led to set pieces. And I said, listen, that's all they got. Let's be smart with the fouls. So we commit a foul. Somehow, you know, not a good goal. Somehow the ball goes in on a dead ball. Now it's 2-1. The psychology of the match changes, of course. But we have to be stronger from there. And, you know, I didn't like our response, you know, when it went 2-1. Shouldn't have went 2-1, but it happens. This sport, there are lightning bolts that all of a sudden, you know, happen. And certainly that was one, a goal out of nowhere. Foul, dead ball, near post. Shouldn't happen, but we have to be stronger. We have to be stronger in that moment. We get tentative. Now we get passive. We drop in too much. You look at the second goal. We're not tight enough when you know, the player receives the ball. We let them turn and shoot. Shouldn't happen, you know. And at 2-2, for me, the goal's in there to win it even, you know. And, you know, for me, I want to see more, you know, in the last 10 minutes. I want to see more push because I think they're hanging on, you know. And for me, it's another disappointing result. You know, that's 6 points in just our last 3 home games that we dropped. If we collected those 6 points, which I felt we should have, we'd be in a much, you know, different situation. So, you know, now our backs are even more against the wall. You know, we got to pick ourselves back up. We have to continue to look at the good because the first half was excellent. But as I told the guys in the locker room, you know, I'm tired of seeing them in second halves stop executing and you know, letting the control in the match that we have, letting the opponent back in the game. We have our hands around their throat. I mean, the knife's in the heart ready to be turned at 3-0. And, you know, we haven't shown that mentality consistently enough this year.
Did you guys have, after the game, did you have a long conversation with the team, and what did you tell them?
Yes, a long conversation just about mentality. And exactly like I told you, there's been too many times this year where we start well, we do what we want to do, it works, we score, and the psychology changes somehow. We get passive or, you know, again, maybe it's a goal against the run. We've had a few of those, but those happen. And, you know, when that game goes 2-1, it should go 3-1, you know, or at a minimum 2-1, it's a win. It should never go 2-2. And if it goes 2-2, then it should go 3-2 us. If we have the right mentality, that game never goes 2-2, never. So it's an individual and collective thing that, you know, I haven't been able to harness in this group with these guys. They have to be stronger, mentally tougher. We have to have better collective leadership in those moments because this game it'll rip your heart out. There's little plays that all of a sudden change the game all the time, and some of them are like, wow, how's that happen? You know, that was one of them. That first goal they score, you're like, it's against the run. It comes out of nowhere. And, you know, those goals happen in the sport. And the teams that are mentally strong, individually and collectively, they go, okay, it's 2-1. We let our guard down, but, you know, now we're ready for the fight. And now we're going to knock you out again. We're going to go 3-1. And we just get too passive. And it's for me, it's the presence I look out there and I'm like, we need more killers. You know, we need guys at the back that say, okay, it's 2-1, no problem. Every ball out, boom, you're heading it out. You're pushing the line up, right? You're hearing a voice out there, right? You know, guys at the back are ripping people's heads off, going, come on, let's snap out of this, right? It's just this is what high-level teams mentally have. We've shown, you know, in games that we can execute against anybody. That first half was excellent. You know, when you look at how we pressed goal kicks, mid-block, how we countered, how we moved the ball and created chances with positional play, like it's all there. But when these lightning bolts hit, we're not strong enough mentally. And it's on them to sort that out and correct it. It's on me to try to continue to harness it again. But that's been the story this year, and that's why we've had a roller coaster.
Obviously, with the game, he made some changes. I'm curious about one with Edgemere coming in. He looked pretty confident, scores the goal, but also Dylan Barrero's out. During the last game, he looked like he was kind of gesturing, kind of some negative body language. Did you have a conversation with him at all, and was there a reason why he didn't come in tonight?
Yeah, I had a conversation with him, and I'll keep that between us, but it was a coach's decision why he didn't start and why he didn't play today. We need guys that are going to work hard on both sides of the ball for us to, you know, be where we want to be, you know, long term. We need guys, 11 guys that are going to defend and work hard. And, you know, we didn't get that against Orlando. We got that much better today. I think the final piece, again, is the mentality, you know, the collective mentality, just being stronger and tougher in moments where there are ups and downs, there's ebbs and flow. And I've had teams that have that killer, that eye of the tiger, you know, where you're strong always mentally. And doesn't mean you don't concede. You do. It happens, right? There's a lot of fluke goals that happen. You know, I would call that goal, it's a great strike, but it's not a good goal. It's out of nowhere. But we have to respond. You know, we have to respond. We can't go 2-2. We gotta go, like I said, 3-1. And, you know, again, I thought the 3-2 win was in there as well. So we've had too many of those games where it kind of fizzles out. We get a draw or we're up. And, you know, we've had some games where we've rode the wave, you know. In those games we're feeling good and we're riding the wave and we're in front 2-0 and the you know, opponent doesn't find that goal to go 2-1. You know, those are the games we've won. But there have been far too many times where we've, you know, where we've lost our control and, like I said, lost our mental toughness in moments where the opponent, you know, does find a goal or we're against we're up against it, you know, under pressure. And so that's on me for sure. But that's what I talked about with them is the mentality collectively. If we're going to be eventually a championship team, that's for me what's missing right now. And I think some of it is individual mentality, but also for me it's collective leadership, collective. It's not on Carlos. I'm not calling Carlos out. I'm calling the whole team as a whole needs to be stronger from back to front mentally.
And Caleb, you know, you've kind of stressed how important these kind of, you know, final matches are. You're looking at the mentality, I guess. I don't know if you're able to pinpoint just kind of why it might be lacking, and then looking ahead, just how do you try and get it on the right mindset for these crucial matches?
Yeah, I mean, some of it's got to change with personnel for sure. But you know, I feel like we're making progress. You see every signing. You know, we've hit on every signing in the first two windows, in my opinion. You can disagree with me, but I feel like we've hit on every signing, and we're getting better with every piece that comes in. And you see Yusuf, he's a player. And there's not going to be a problem with his mentality. There's never a problem with Carlos's mentality. There's some guys there's never a problem with, but some guys in key positions need to have a stronger mentality. And there's too much up and down. And you know, I need to see more. So these last 6 games, you know, as our season gets tighter and tighter, our backs are more than ever against the wall. Every game's a must-win now. We're really going to find out, and everybody, even the fans, you're going to see what these guys are made of. You're going to see if they have that mentality under pressure to perform, because the best teams in our league do. They do. Doesn't mean they win every game, but by and large, when you see the best teams, they're more consistent because their mentality is stronger individually and collectively. So, you know, for me, it's going to be good to see, you know, their backs against the wall and see what we do, you know, because we got to go and win against Charlotte. We got to win that game.
Nick, and then we'll wrap up with Marcelo here.
Yeah, so Carlos with an assist on each goal, and that brings him level with Steve Ralston's record for the club. Just what can you say about his performance tonight and the impact he's made since returning?
Yeah, he's top notch. I mean, this guy's a player, you know. I don't worry about Carlos ever, you know. I mean, he's had some injuries this year, gives everything he has. He gets, you know, kicked every game, fights through it. You know, there was a play I thought was you know, I don't know. I don't want to say anything this game, but, you know, it looked pretty close to a red. But we need more guys like Carlos, and we're building that. You know, for me, there's 6, 7 guys. I know they're in the lineup, and I know it's going to be a 7 or 8 every game. You know, maybe at worst a 6. Some guys, it's sometimes a 7 and sometimes a 3, and it could be one game to the next, a 7 or a 3, flip a coin. And it just that leads to inconsistencies and ups and downs and a roller coaster, and that's happened this year. When we have our top group healthy, I think we're getting very close. You know, it doesn't look like that in the table, but I know it. I know it based on my experience with having some teams that have all the ingredients. So, you know, we're not losing games, but the margins between tying and losing or tying and winning, they're so slim, and it's all mentality. It's all mentality, guys. I mean, we're starting to become talented enough. We're executing the X's and O's very well, which is really good to see. Game model's coming, but it's the mentality, and I think we need a few more killers.
Marcelo?
Why is so hard to, like today, there was winning 2-0, and to keep the difference in between the first half and the second half? Why is so much different?
I mean, I think I just talked about for the last 10 minutes. You want me to just tell it again? I just.
I know you say mentality, but
Right. I told you what I said at halftime, right? That's what I told the team. So it's the first goal. The first goal changed the psychology of the match. It shouldn't change it, but it did. So I explained that, you know. So I'm trying to answer your question, but, you know, I'm trying to be respectful, but I thought I talked all about that. And some of it is, yeah, personnel. We need a few more guys that are stronger in certain positions where the spine and the stability comes in moments that get hard. And some of it, right? You have things happen in a year, and it gets in your head, you know. So we've had second halves where we've conceded, and you know, to some extent, right? They're thinking about it now, so that happens sometimes, you know. But I gotta keep chipping away at it. But I didn't change the tactical plan in the second half. I didn't tell the guys to sit in. You know, I told them, we showed them clips of everything we did well in the first half and told them more of the same. Get the third goal. Don't sit in. The worst thing we can do is sit in. The worst thing we can do is foul and give them a lucky goal. You know, and it happened. The worst case scenario went 2-1, and then they got soft.
When you came in, you talked about, like, you know, you're selective when picking jobs, and you picked this job partly because the roster, and you like the roster. Can you kind of reflect on coming into this and, you know, making changes and where you are in the process of shaping things?
Yeah, I think you're always going to say, like, the roster, you know. I mean, you're never going to say, I hate the roster. You probably won't get the job. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you know. So I did like the roster. I still like the roster. Doesn't mean I liked every piece here, but there's a lot of there were a lot of good players here that I've kept and I'll continue to keep. And a lot of them are still in the starting lineup. You know, so, you know, obviously we've added, you know, pieces. I think I've talked to you every window about, you know, what we need to add, and then we've added those pieces, you know. So does that answer your question? I don't know if it does or not.
Yeah, I guess just where you are in the process. Do you think that you're like you just kind of need you have the rest of the season and you have an off season? Do you feel like you're a couple pieces away from getting the pure vision that you're at?
We're focused on this season, you know? I mean, I don't want to talk about, you know, next season or the end of the year. You know, we got 6 games left. I want to win the next game. You know, again, I want to continue to – I know the ingredients it takes, you know, because I've had teams that have had it, and we're getting closer. We are. But right now what's missing is a consistent collective mentality in moments that get hard, you know, and some of that will, add a piece here or there in certain spots. You know, we're still gonna make some ads in the off season, but I'm not thinking about that right now. We have a good enough team to win this game today, plain and simple. So in the end, I'll take the responsibility. It's on me. I'm the head coach. I will take the responsibility with everything. At the end of the day, I'll tell you what's right, what's wrong, what needs to change, but in the end, it's always on me, always. And I never shrug responsibility. So I'm still hoping that we win every game and we get in the playoffs. That's my belief, and that's what I want to see out of the guys.